Alright, so today I want to talk us through the writing of Surprise I Look the Same. This might be a more frustrating video to you than is helpful, but you know, I've been asked a lot, how do you write stuff? How do you write songs? And it's a lot of this, just sitting in front of an instrument, making mistakes, saying the same phrase over and over again. I took a year off. That was a phrase I was just mulling around in my head. It must have been, I think it was about that time of year where I felt like I probably hadn't exercised in a long time. I was super cooped up. It was cold outside. Probably saw myself in the mirror without my shirt and thought, oh my gosh, I gotta get back to working out. You know, just like something silly like sparked this phrase. I took a year off. When I came back, surprised I looked the same.
Took a year off, then I came home. I was home to
find. You know, so between the squeaking of the pedal from the keyboard and me just saying the same thing over and over again, this is a lot of just sitting around until the right idea sparks. But there are a few things in this video that I think could be helpful to show you. A few aha moments that I captured maybe. You can see right now I don't even have a notebook in front of me.
I took a year off when I...
Okay, here's an interesting part. I finally get a voice memo going. I think recording voice memos while you're writing is totally overrated. I think it's Paul McCartney and John Lennon who are credited with saying, you know, if you don't remember it the next morning, it wasn't worth writing. I feel like most modern songwriters have like gigabytes and gigabytes of voice memos that they'll never go through. So sometimes I think having a voice memo going, just in case you forget something and you want to come back to it, I think it's a bit of an Achilles heel, because sometimes you're not fully present in the writing moment. You're just hoping that the voice memo will hear it for you so you don't have to pay attention, right? But if you're totally keyed into what you're doing, you don't need voice memo because you're going to remember it. I don't know. Or here's where a co-writer comes in, where it'd be better to have a co-writer to say, hey, that was cool, do that again, you know. I think the technology sometimes hurts the writing process. Keeps us from committing to things in the moment. Why didn't I do that in the song? That was cool. I should have kept that. This is one of the reasons I don't write in front of Jocelyn very often, you know, because this like thought that she's just going to hear me say the same thing over and over again is, whew. It's a lot. It's a lot for someone who's not participating to endure. That's where I discovered something about the chorus. So I finally have a notebook. I should have had a notebook from the beginning to at least write down lyric ideas, but this was probably like half an hour into writing. I finally got a notebook. Nice run there. I should have done that in the recording. Again, a co-writer can say, hey, that was great. But you can see right now I finally have a verse and chorus melody, some lyrics, but I have essentially a structure for the song, a verse and a chorus and another verse and a chorus. So now I can really start writing down lyrics, and I think that that's one of the things that I do regularly is like, it's so much more important that I get a vibe, a feeling, a chord progression, and a melody first, and maybe a phrase that just keeps coming up. And then I can process, why am I singing this? Why does my heart need to sing this song right now? So right now, that's what I'm figuring out. I'm all fidgety right now, I think, because it's just nerve-wracking watching myself do this. But I think what started out as this silly, like, oh boy, I need to probably lose some weight. I haven't worked out in a while. Took a year off when I came back. You know, that idea is turning into something much, much deeper. It's like, as you watch time pass you by, if you don't deal with your issues, you're stuck with yourself all winter. And it can be really hard to be stuck with yourself. So it's easier to leave, right, and start over than it is to be stuck with yourself. And so I think this song is about finding, or at least realizing, that I should have dealt with my issues rather than run away from something, you know. I wasn't picking my nose there, promise.
Surprise.
So I finally have some lyrics. Surprise, I look the same. It's very tongue-in-cheek.
I could see the colors changed.
So from here, when you listen to the final version, you hear, I was saying as the leaves shed. I think I ended up saying as the leaves left. So really it's just the ideas are there, and it's refining the language, it's refining the words. You can't expect to change. You can't expect to change if you don't do anything about it, right? So you can't expect to have a six-pack if you don't work out, right? So, and that's obvious when you lift up your shirt in front of a mirror. You're like, oh, okay, what I'm doing is not working, but sometimes it takes peeling back a layer to see the dysfunction that you're living in, and so I think it's the peeling back the layer that's the most painful part, because once you rip the Band-Aid off and investigate the wound, a lot of times you're like, okay, I can deal with that, I can fix that, or I can be patient while that heals. I know what to do. I can put some Neosporin on it. I think it's so hard to investigate the areas where we're broken. But if we would just take the time to sit in solitude and ask, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep, running into the same wall? We might get the answers, but instead we sort of, at least I sometimes can just, it's like what I'm doing right now. I mean, watching game tape is like my least favorite thing. And right now, watching my process, I've uncovered a few things. Like, I didn't need that voice memo to be going. I never used it. I also, should have had a notebook in front of me the whole time. And I also should have definitely put some WD-40 on that pedal. But it's amazing the amount of dysfunction I can live in and endure it until I just can't take it anymore. There's a song there. At this point, the song is almost materialized. Since this was part of the 30-song challenge, I sort of had to get tracking. I was like, okay, I think in my mind I knew, here's how the structure's going to go. I got the melodies, I got the idea, it's flowing, the ideas are flowing. The notebook right here. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much at the bottom of the page. It's all right there. It's all on that page. So if you're writing songs and you're wondering how do I do it, this is how I do it. I sit there and I bang my head against a wall for a while. I sing the same phrase over and over again. But let me tell you something. If you have a phrase in your head that you can't get out of your head, chances are there's a subconscious reason why that phrase is there. And you have to sit with it until you know, like, oh, this is why I need to write about this. I got some deep-seated issue, or I got some thing I gotta explore and uncover. And and you can only uncover it, while you sit with it. But I'm also making decisions, because I have to write. I'm not judging the song right now. I'm simply getting words on paper and committing. And so at this point, I don't know that the whole thing is totally written, but most of it is, and the rest is like, I gotta get paint on the canvas now. That one probably came in about an hour. So, you can write a song in an hour. Do it. Go for it.